Oh man, yeah, no, we were chit chatting and decided to finally do the real thing and record here. But I don't know, we figured we were chit chatting about holiday sales, fake sales. Kohl's was doing the $79 PS5, um, which was an error. But
Mhm.
there are some pretty good deals out there this holiday season. So I mean,
Yeah, Target was doing if you had their app, you could get a PS5 for $350, and that was
that's a
legit.
hell of a deal.
Yeah, they were trying to blow out their stock of the Fat Boys.
And yeah, that's because of the upcoming Slim, right? I mean,
Yeah, which honestly, dude, I'd still rather have the fat one.
I would too.
Even though it's 150 gigs less of storage on board, but it's so easy to upgrade the storage on them, and it's so cheap at this point. Like I think there was either a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte drive on sale for like $50.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because I bought the 2 terabyte. Now let me look back real quick to see which one I ended up with. But it was through Best Buy, and it was, oh gosh, not too long after I had acquired the PS5. It was 2 terabyte Seagate Firecuda,
Hmm.
and it was had the heatsink built in because that was kind of a big deal to me at the time. And I remember the 2 terabyte of that thing going for over $400. Like it almost went for as much as the PS5,
Yeah.
and that was 2 years ago. So I'm not entirely certain what they go for now, but I'm sure it's a lot less than what I paid for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, what did I just do? I put my hand down on my keyboard and I just heard a pop. And
It made a bunch of noises.
well, no, it went pop.
Oh,
Like,
but no, it is crazy, and that's what typically happens with storage. I mean, they do come down in price over time, and you're right. I mean, it is getting really, really reasonable. So, um, and it's funny. I mean, it actually made me think when you said that. It made me think about the PS2 and when the Slim of that came out. And I was still such a fan of the original, the fat model. It's iconic almost.
yeah,
And I think the PS5 to me is going to end up in a similar vein. Like, yeah, it's big, but I don't know, it's cool looking.
yeah.
I mean, it's
I'd
it's
still
just
rather have the Fat Boy, man.
yeah. I mean, not to say the Slim's not going to look cool. I mean, the PS2 Slim looked cool,
Right.
but I mean, but comparative to the original PS2, not as
Right.
cool.
Compared to the original PS2. Plus, you lose functionality. And with you don't necessarily lose functionality with the PS5 aside or with the PS5 Slim aside from potentially losing your optical drive. Um,
Yeah, which is still just crazy.
and I'm so torn. Like, I love the design of the original PS5, and that's why to me that's the one to get. But by the same token, it's so much easier to replace the optical drive should it fail. And let's face it, like as these things get more complicated, they're gonna fail.
Right.
They just are. It's just how it works. It's the nature of the beast. They run at higher temperatures, they're more prone to failure. And once, say 5 years after the PS5 goes away, you might still be able to get the optical drives for the Slim, but who knows if you're going to be able to get an optical drive at a decent price for a PS5, like
Yeah,
a
and
Fat Boy.
yeah, and really, quite honestly, like for all the stuff that we have, no, we don't put a bunch of DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever in, but that's the only one I have, like that I use at any regularity. So
Right.
if that fails, then it's like, well, then I've got to crack something else out that's older, or I gotta get a DVD or Blu-ray player or whatever, and it's just convenient because it's an all-in-one for me. It's a gamer, it's a media streamer, it's a DVD Blu-ray player. It just does everything. So I mean, that's the crazy thing. It's like, yeah, you have this era of, and I always think about this, have this era of smart TVs, and you're going to laugh at me in a second here. But it's like, the smart TVs are basically glorified tablets that you can't touch.
Yeah.
And they're very weak processors. They're very limited storage. They're based on technology that's been existent for many, many years. And they typically run OSs that have been out for a long time. And you and I both know that unless you're paying a premium for a television, it's very slow, or it has the tendency to do random things like restart itself, or you just have to really mess with it to kind of get it to work right. And I know you probably have run this too. Like you try to run an app on a television, and some work just fine.
Yeah.
Others not so well. There's a lot of buffering. There's stuff that just stops. There's things that just crash. It's not a great experience. And I finally, within the last few months, I finally just switched everything over to the PS5. Like now that's what I'm doing for TV streaming. I think outside of Disney Plus, that's like basically the only thing that still works on my television normally. And I said you're going to laugh at me in a second. So I picked up my TV remote a couple months ago, and I pointed it at my TV to turn it on, and my PS5 kicked on. I was like, what in the world? Like looking around, like, did one of the kids grab the PS controller? Like, what is this? Until I realized that my TV is a Sony TV. So guess what
Oh,
works with it?
nice. No, that's cool though.
But
Like I've got
it was
videos
never in
from
the
it.
infrared was never in the position to work that way. It just had been tilted enough over time that it finally worked. And I was like, no way.
Wait, but
I can
so
actually control the menu with my TV remote. I can, yeah.
dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. But I was shocked. I was like, oh yeah, it is Sony. I guess it would be the same one that.
I mean, it makes sense. Like I've got Vizio TVs. I really like them. I've had the my big TV that we have in the living room. I bought in 2017 as a refurb from Walmart, and it's still going strong.
Those
Um,
big Vizios are awesome. I will say
yeah,
that.
yeah, and it's a 4K. It does a UHD and all, or UDH, whatever the hell
Yeah, I got. Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say.
I
Um,
got you.
and I was worried because during the hurricane, we had loaded some stuff up because we were in the process of moving, and we loaded some stuff up and took it over to my parents' house. So because we knew their house had less of a chance of getting destroyed than the house we were in. So we loaded that TV, my bedroom TV, which is also a Vizio, and some other stuff up, took it over there. And on the way over there, I was in such a hurry because I needed to get to work that the TVs fell over
Oh,
in the car.
oh no.
And the big Vizio still works great. The little Vizio that I had gotten around Christmas, like prior, so that was 2022. So I bought it maybe December 2021, January 2022. It has this little line that goes across the top when I'm playing video games.
Really?
Yeah, and it's up near the very top of the screen, and it's like a line where for whatever reason the pixels don't align. So
That's
like,
weird. Huh.
yeah. So luckily, both of them they still work as far as watching TV, watching movies, whatever, doing streaming stuff. But I do have that issue. But I did notice though, like you said, Vizio just released an OS update for their TVs, and it seems to have fixed a lot of issues. But dude, I used to have so much trouble watching stuff on Disney Plus where the picture would freeze and the audio would keep going, and then it
Hmm.
would pick up, it would catch up. And on Paramount Plus, some days I couldn't get Paramount Plus to work.
Really?
Like it would load, but it would take so long to scroll through things, or I would start a movie and it would be like choppy, and I would have to just stop it because I'm like, dude, this is terrible. I can't. Um, just before the update the other day, I was watching Star Trek: Strange New Worlds on Paramount Plus, and it would it wouldn't bring up the button to play the next episode. So I
Oh, that
finished an episode and I couldn't go on to the next one.
yeah, that sucks. Yeah, no, it's weird. You have these like just weird things. Like Disney Plus always worked well on the Sony TV for me. Never had a problem with that. Hulu, which same company,
Yeah,
their app on the Sony TV, same, it crashes all the time.
no shit.
It locks up, it doesn't do anything. Now on the PlayStation, Hulu's fine. Sony product. I go figure, right? Netflix has always worked pretty decently, but I always thought that Netflix always worked pretty decently on everything. And going back to even the Wii,
Yeah,
and Netflix was just like, I mainly because I think it was like the first, if you will, that just exploded on everything. I mean, how pretty much everyone's TV remotes have a Netflix button.
Yeah.
That one always has worked well. YouTube TV works really well on the PlayStation. It works okay on my TV. It buffers a little bit more, and I think because it's just so intensive,
Mhm.
like the processor just can't handle.
Right.
Like it really does not like football at times, because there's been times where it's like I'm watching and it's like I'm looking at my phone at something like fantasy wise or whatever, and I'm like, wait, so and so got a touchdown, but like 30 seconds later, it's like, oh, and but then I started watching the PlayStation. It's like it's more caught up. It's not as behind, and I realize there's like that delay.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. That's been existent for a long time, but it's just like there would be a buffer enough to where maybe you'd hit during a commercial or in something, and like you just didn't notice it.
Hmm.
And so, you'd have to, it just seems to be a lot better with the PlayStation. I don't
See,
know.
you know what was really weird? This weekend, I go over to my parents to watch the Eagles games, either streaming illegally or on normal TV, depending upon what the situation is. And so Sunday, when we were playing the Bills, it was on normal TV down here. It's fantastic. We can actually watch it in HD. It's not going to be glitchy. It'll be great. They have Comcast. I don't know what my niece has at her house, but she was watching the game with her dad, and she was texting my mom during the game, and her reactions were coming before we were seeing stuff on the TV.
Really?
And that's with Comcast or
Wow. Yeah.
Xfinity,
You would
whatever you
think
wanna
that
call
would
it.
be like, really in sync there.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's
it's not like
crazy.
they didn't pause it or anything, like, because they have the DVR thing. It's not like they had paused it or done anything different with it for whatever reason. I mean, that house is northwest, like, out in the northwest of Cape Coral, which is I mean, it's, like, I guess, far out compared to where her house is my niece's house. So maybe I don't know, maybe they're having issues with their signals or something,
Yeah. I don't know. That's
and
weird.
there's a
Yeah. No,
delay, but we're in the same city, and it's
yeah. Like I just expect it with streaming compared to like actually having cable or whatever. That's just but it's never been more than a 10-15 second thing.
right.
The TV, like I said, with us, it like would make it 30 seconds or more, and it just was like, hey, wait a minute. Why am I 2 plays behind? Like I see first and 10 on the screen. I looked real quick for whatever reason to see, oh yeah, so and so got a touchdown. Wait, third and what? Like it just was weird, and um I'm trying to think of any other apps though. I don't have much experience with Paramount. So I can't speak to that one as far as how well that worked on either or. But the Hulu thing just really surprised me. Like it's like absolutely terrible to even try, and I don't know why that is. On the and it's just weird because Disney works so well.
Right, right, right.
Like I just don't get it. But
That leads me into something. Hopefully, they figure out the Hulu thing for you because soon, within, I believe it's the next month or something like that, Disney Plus will be no more. They're merging their entire content library with Hulu.
really, I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
No, and now that I mean it's fine because right now as long as my PS5 holds up.
But
No, that's
yeah.
crazy. I didn't know that. So where's this? This is kind of breaking news to me. I had no idea.
Yeah, let me try and find the article, but they've been talking about it a little bit. Um, I guess it doesn't make sense for them to continue to run 2 apps when they could use
Right.
one.
Yeah,
Um,
Hulu and Disney Plus merging in one app. Yeah, it was, wow, 3 weeks ago. No kidding.
so yeah, it says beta version will launch in December, and okay, I'm sorry, the official launch is spring 2024.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So
Wait, what are they calling that? Wait, hold on a second here. Brundlefly. What? What is this? I'm
No.
sorry. I'm on a no, I'm sorry. I'm on a Mashable article, and so it just made me laugh. But it says Hulu and Disney Plus are merged in the one app. This was earlier in November. The Brundlefly app beta test.
Get the
What?
fuck out of here.
No, that's not right. That
No,
can't
they're
be
not
right.
calling it Brundlefly.
No, there's
That's
no
too
way.
close to Grundlefly.
There's no way.
No, there's no fucking way it's gonna be called Brundlefly.
Although
No,
that
hold
would be
on.
pretty awesome.
Brundlefly.
I'm sorry that came up on a Mashable article. We really.
So it's no Brundlefly. Okay,
Sorry,
Brundlefly.
that just
You
made me
just made
laugh.
it. Seth Brundle is the doctor who gets turned into the fly.
Exactly. That's what I.
All right, so that's why. I thought you were saying they were actually gonna fucking try and call it the Brundlefly. I was just no, 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 no.
No. It just said the Brundlefly app test. Yeah. It just
Okay,
made me laugh. Yeah.
all
I just
right,
was like,
all
I was like, yeah, I was said the same thing. I was like, there's no way they're going to call it that.
right.
But the way that article reads, though, it's like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, it makes you think that that's actually what. Okay,
No, they just meant that it's converging. And no, I don't know what I guess they would just call it the Disney app, or I don't know what you'd call it.
Dulu, Dulu Plus.
You got to get rid of the Hulu name, I would imagine. Disney's a well more known property than pretty much anything else on the planet.
Right. They'll probably just call it like.
Blockbuster.
Yeah. Right. Disney. I don't know, man. Disney Plus Plus.
Yeah,
The new Nintendo 3DS.
okay. Now here's a good question for you, though. The new Nintendo 3DS. I like that. um, here's a good question for you, though. App experience wise, mobile, tablet, whatever device, TV, Hulu or Disney Plus.
I don't know. See, I'm tempted to say Hulu because it's better laid out, but there's more of a variety of content. So that's why I feel like it's more
Yeah,
well laid out.
yeah, I can see that.
Um, but I mean, Disney Plus isn't done poorly, but it's not my favorite.
No, it's very simple.
Yeah, it's just a super basic
Yeah,
layout.
it's like here's your Star Wars movies, here's your Marvel movies, here's your Simpsons content, here's your National Geographic content. It's very actually, you know what it reminds me of, in a way. And you mentioned this with the last couple pods we've done on here, the Noise Brigade. The Wii and the different channels. It's very blocky. It's very, it's very base, but like that's kind of what it is. Now, again, granted, we're talking about something that's a lot newer, got a lot
Right,
prettier
right.
interface. It's very simple. There's not a whole lot to it.
Shit,
You might as well just pop on and say, "Oh, I click the weather button." There you go.
dude, honestly, I'm surprised that somebody hasn't tried to license that OS, the Wii OS, to run a fucking streaming service on, especially Disney. Disney would have done so well to do that because then, you know what? Make a stream. Oh, that would have been perfect. Make a streaming box like the Wii that uses the little Wii remote, and you can point to the shit.
Oh man. Oh, yeah, that'd have been perfect.
That would have, dude. You know how it could have been shaped like Mickey ears.
Oh,
It could have been like, I don't know, like obviously they were never going to do that, but that would have been great, especially for kids.
yeah. Oh, that and I know. We'll think about I know the Wii's were huge in the senior homes too. So
Yeah.
just so many different applications there. Actually, and it makes me think too. One of the things that I thought was such a great concept and product, and it's still out there, but just never got off the ground. Was the NVIDIA Shield, and I just love the aesthetics of it and stuff. But he never really knew where that was going to fall because it kind of fell in that same line where it was like a gaming device, but yeah, you did some streaming, which the Wii did correctly. It just came a little too early.
Right.
They've had the Wii in the way it came. maybe you give it 5-10 years later, man, I think things are just way different. The way that would have been perceived as, not saying that like, it's very heralded and a lot of people use it in a lot of different ways and a lot of fun with it. I'm not discounting that, but like, I think it would have been taken more seriously had it come out later with maybe, better processor or better, memory, whatever. And man, you can really leverage that, like you're talking about, for different applications. And I always thought about that with the NVIDIA Shield. It's like similar size, kind of in a similar vein. The gaming library is not there comparative to me, like the Wii. It's like I don't have all my cool Nintendo games. Um, but it's like you really had like part of the market that needed something. I think that would have been. I think you're right. I think like that would have been awesome. Like market something that's like this, uses the Wiimote, and that's. I mean, how cool would that have been?
I mean, look, let's be real. If somebody released a set-top box that used the Wii technology and with the Wii remote and used the Wii interface, and that's how you connected to all your streaming services, put it up for like $50 because I'm sure the tech isn't that expensive to recreate at
No,
this
no,
point.
it can't be.
So throw it up for $50. Get all of the streaming services to kick in a little bit for branding and such, and then put it up for, like I said, $50 with those brands subsidizing it and knowing that it's not going to be used for anything but just your streaming services. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. And here's the thing: you're talking about like Roku devices, and Google's had their stuff and whatever over the years, and they're nominally cost. So
Right.
yeah, you could do this with, and people hack the Wiimotes all the time and have for years to do different things. So I mean, yeah, and it was it's actually kind of funny. Let's roll back a few episodes, and we're talking about gaming technology that we missed. Um, there is quite a stark difference with the Wiimote and how uh, everything else is these days, comparatively. I mean, because you know it was a lot meatier device, handheld controller wise, comparative to a Joy-Con.
Yeah.
If you're, especially if you're only holding one, you could do most functions with one hand, instead of two. Which was always different anyway with that thing. But it was the best of having a classic Nintendo controller, a zapper, everything like in one hand, and you could just have at it. But then also have the capability of, I mean, doing other things with it. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that would have been awesome,
Right.
But no, I guess the sensor bar would have been the fail, I guess, on that for the sale.
But the
I don't
sensor
know.
bar, you could essentially build, if it's a set-top box, you could essentially build it into the, especially if we're talking Mickey ears, you could put the sensors, because but you can recreate, if you have a Wii and you lose the sensor bar or it breaks, you can take two of those little, what are they called? The little tiny candles, the T candles. Um, I forget what the fuck they're called. But you could take two candles, put them in front of your TV in the distance, however much distance you wanted. It uses infrared light. So all you have to do is have
Oh,
the
that's
two.
right. Yeah, that's right.
You don't even, I mean, you could just on your set top box have two little IR blasters on it, and then that's how it could use. That's what it uses. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. No, that would have been cool, man. Um, no, it's definitely fun to think about and see where that would have gone, and cool to kind of revisit that one. It's funny that none of us said that because um, it was a cool, like, to me, one of the cooler controllers Nintendo's ever developed.
yeah.
Um, but no, I want to kind of shift gears here. I know Spotify and these other services have done the your interview in music or whatever. But I'm more curious as to what's been your take lately, or like if things did speak to you throughout the year that you just kind of dove in on.
So lately, it's been a lot of the darkness.
Hmm.
Trying to think. I know we talked about one album, which I don't remember which album it was, um, that I had been listening to like on repeat. Oh, the Rentals. I listened to a lot this year. Let's see. Trying to think. I was introduced to a song. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna open up iTunes real quick, so hopefully it doesn't screw up my fucking feed here. Let's see. Recently added. So it was. Um, oh, I discovered the band Wind Rose, which they make
Windrose.
dwarf metal.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So not like dwarf, like you know, like small people, little people. It's dwarf like Lord of the Rings dwarfs. Um, shit. Where? Okay. So no, that's not it. Fuck. Where is this? Where is this song? So, Motion City soundtrack a little bit. Um, A Day to Remember, and but there's one song. Oh, the new Blink 182 album is a fucking banger.
In fact,
Uh,
I haven't listened to it yet, so it's good.
yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I'm trying to find this damn album that what is this song? Okay, not that one. So there's this song that I found or that I was introduced to, and it's um Chester Bennington from Linkin Park,
Hmm.
and he's singing with a guitarist from some metal band, and I can't remember which one it is. And it's incredible. It's like I really wish that's the kind of music that Chester was making for the past few years because it's
Yeah, he was.
so good.
Yeah, he got pretty. No, I would imagine that was that toward the end for him.
Yeah.
Um, no, he did some really good stuff. I really followed along. Now I went more like following Mike Shinoda and that route.
Oh,
Just
I'm sorry. It's called Cross Off. It's by Mark Morton.
cross off. Let's see. Mark Morton. I'll look this one up here.
Oh, yeah. And
Huh.
I'll do a let's see if we can do this without getting demonetized. Not that we make any fucking money. Um,
Oh yeah, Mark Morton, Lamb of God. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So let's see. Um, Cross off. There we go. All right, I'm gonna try and share my screen so we can play like how many seconds do you think we can play before we get fucked on this one?
It's just background music. It's just background music.
All right, ready? All right. Well, I didn't realize it had all this lead up into it.
Oh, that's an actual video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, so it's definitely a lot. It's more.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible. This is what they would have sounded like in the last days of Linkin Park, which honestly, I'll tell you what, I was listening to a lot of the stuff that Linkin Park did from, I think the album's called Hunting Party, and I really liked that too. And I hadn't really listened to it until recently. Yeah, it's called The Hunting Party. And man, it's so good. They have a song with the one dude, Darren Malakian uh, from System of a Down,
Hmm.
and like just a bunch of really good songs on the album.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna have to, some of this stuff I've got to go back and listen to because there was a lot of bands that I fell out with, and you know me, and it's not any secret. I've been very eclectic over the years with my music. Although I've been a big Linkin Park fan for many many years, I kind of went the Shinoda Mike Shinoda Fort Minor route and listening to the more hip hop type stuff. But I saw Linkin Park a couple times in concert, but early, 2005 and prior, and they're amazing. I mean, such a great band. But that's awesome, man, and that was new to me, so I'm gonna have to go back and really dig in all that now. So
yeah. Aside from that, just the normal, just Operation Ivy, Real Big Fish, Flogging Molly, Weezer. Um, Shit, what was the Rancid and the Interrupters, dude. If you haven't checked out the Interrupters, do yourself a
yeah,
favor.
yeah, no, I agree on that. It's been a while for me on the Interrupters, but no. Um, yeah, it's funny. So I went through and you know, years and years and years ago, I think I remember doing the Spotify thing because that's what I had. And I switched over a long time ago to when it was Google Play Music and YouTube Music. This is one of the reasons why I had to share this because this was just so funny to me. So my top song this year was the Jerry Springer theme song, and I'll explain why.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one because yeah, bud.
You see, I saw the look on your face and I was like, wait, I thought he was going to say something else. Um, so no, went to a conference with Bink and a couple of our other buddies, and one of the lead speakers we thought his name was Jerry. So over and over and over again, I played the Jerry chants with the Jerry Springer theme song. I mean, for hours on end, even well after this was over with, and it just became a joke. And so yeah, top song of the year, Jerry Springer theme song. Now, what's hysterical about that is, and we don't have to do it here, you go back and you listen to that and you tell me it doesn't sound like the ECW theme song. It's really strange. Um, I'm serious. It's weird. I guess because it's the air. But I my top artist this year outside of Jerry. Isn't that good?
That's so fucking awful. I hate it so much, but I love it at the same time.
Uh,
You and Jerry Springer are the only two people that's ever happened to.
Jerry. But no, Cell Dweller, who I've talked about many, many times here. Battle Juice, Dankmas, who is the Simpsons.
Oh yeah, dude, they're
Yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah. Scandroid, who is the same person as Cell Dweller, so go figure. And then Dance with the Dead. But like, I looked at the genre breakdown, and it was funny because I've really, really shifted. Mine's like 40% electronic now, which is crazy for me. Because it like listed out that I'd listened to like 47,000 minutes of music or some crap like that. A lot of them apparently being the Jerry Springer theme song. But it's funny because I remember listening to a lot of metal, a lot of rock, a lot of the hip hop stuff for many, many years. And, I would always intersplice like little bits of electronic or whatever. And now it's really taken it over. And it's funny because it's a genre that like a lot of people just don't like. And I get it. There's not real instruments. There's a lot of it's instrumental. Um, but the I think the rationale I've always had in my head is I have always been, and this goes back to my original podcasting days, a huge fan of theme music. And theme music for wrestling or TV shows or movies has a tendency to be very quick, very electronic based, particularly if it was put out since like 1980, because it was cheap and it was easy to do.
Right.
And so there are some like little random things that I'll hear and I'll be like, oh, that reminds me of a video game that I played when I was a kid. And it just brings me back. It's very simple. And then you start like weaving these ways into like hearing, you know, and one of the reasons why I love Celdor so much is because the guy like does all these different things and he has these different personas and he releases music as this person and as this person, as you know, it just has this like insane catalog. And you just can really dive deep into things that, and that was the other thing. It's like you can look and see in YouTube Music, and I believe Spotify does this too, like where you're at as far as the listeners compared to like other listeners listening to a particular artist. And so for Cell Dweller, I was like in the top like 0.1%, which is like to me, that's like I'm on stalker level at that point. But it's but that's how much of a catalog the guy has. Like I really dove into it one time and it was like, I mean, I'm talking like 400 or 500 tracks. And the only other like groups or artists that I've ever done that in my life, to me, like I've really dug in and found stuff for like Beastie Boys, Eminem, like that had a lot of stuff. But a lot of that stuff was either just remixes or like live recordings or just stuff that was like the same, 75 tracks. Like this stuff is either new or it's a what I love the demos. Like I've really gotten into like here's a track and then here's a demo of the track like 2 or 3 years ago. I really love that stuff because you can tell how like the track develops.
Right.
And like this guy, like he just releases all that stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, I love it, man. I just sink my teeth into it and I just can't get enough. It's like crack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've said you're a crackhead for years now, and now we've got the proof.
Hi, you sent me a link. Is this the ooh, what is this?
So this is when you were talking about, hearing the video game esque sounds and stuff like that. It reminded me of this album from 2009. It's called the 8-Bit album. It's Weezer, the 8-Bit album. It's not actually by Weezer, but it's a cover album of Weezer songs done in like chip tune and electronic. And it's like you can hear as you listen to it you'll hear stuff from Zelda, you'll hear like sounds you heard in, like you said, in video games. And it's a whole bunch of different songs by a whole bunch of different artists, and it's really good. It was free at one time. I guess now you got to pay like $4 for it on Bandcamp, but I can always send it to you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to
This
all
is
right,
the YouTube link to the entire album, like in one shot.
cool. No, that's sweet. And I think we yeah, it's been a while, but I think we've talked about this one. No, I have to dig in. No, it's funny, man. I just really dig that stuff. I don't know why. It's always have. It's just I don't know. I think it just brings me back.
Yeah, you know what I find it is listening to it and trying to figure out, like, especially when it's chiptune stuff. They'll typically use certain sounds from games, like even if it's just an obscure, or maybe it just sounds like a sound from a game, and you try to think, wow, okay, well, what was that sound from? What game was that from? And it's just that warm nostalgia feeling that crossing over two things that you love, the music and old. Like, we grew up playing these video games,
Yep.
and
Yep.
and I don't know, all electronic music isn't like that, but for me, like the chiptune stuff, that's kind of what I get into. Um, and it's more just that nostalgia. Just like, oh yeah, yeah, check out that. I remember that sound. They're using the jump sound from from Legend of Zelda 2, or they're using this or that, and it's just cool.
Yeah, yeah, no, and that's the I think that's the cool thing. Like there's some artists, and Savant's one of them. Let me think. Is it Vexento? Yeah, Vexento's another one. They're just there are a couple electronic artists that like really hardcore dive into just gaming in general, and you can just really tell it's like, oh, this is based off the Mario theme, or this is based off that, and and it's just really, really well done. But and that's it's funny. It kills me because it's like it's a trapped in a vacuum type thing
Mhm.
because it's like absolutely nobody else around me like knows what the hell I'm talking about, knows any of this stuff. They give a crap about it, but but it's just it's cool because it's like you really like like I said, you said it's like, oh yeah, this is like the one up sound, or this is different little things like that. And like you said, it's not all electronic music. It's just certain ones that really put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Um, but we're gonna close up shop here pretty soon. But I was curious. We do need to kind of do a little pregame foreshadowing, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna do what's a Christmas movie at one point here as
Yes.
we approach the holiday season. So
Yeah, we've got two more Christmas/holiday episodes planned. Um, like you said, the what's a Christmas movie, and I still stand by the need to do a tournament to determine who the best Yule lad is.
yeah, 100%, I agree.
So,
And yeah, I
and if
think
we
we
have
have
to
to.
do that without Richie, we have to do that without Richie.
Yeah,
'Cause
and I
outside
think
of
we have
that,
to. I think we have to put that out for a vote, whatever it takes.
yeah.
Mail,
You know
Twitter,
what?
Pony Express.
I'm gonna spread it across my social media and see if we can get people to dig in on this.
We got to.
Yeah.
We got to. This is it's like
So,
it's like a fight to the death,
yeah.
and
Of
I hope Spoonlicker wins.
I don't know, man. I think I might be team sausage swiper.
Crap, I'm trying to do it.
That's what she said.